All right, hello everybody. We're on the air. How you doing, Mark?
Doing good, man. It's good to be here again. I was like coming on your show.
Yeah, man, it's always a fun time to talk horror movies with you.
Yeah, before Tim gets here. Talk horror movies before Tim shows up. Hurry.
Right. Hurry, because he's seen none of them. But I mean, he does talk about
Well,
them.
so
So
Tim's no, so I don't know if you listened to the stream last night on the Bunder Dome, but
I listened
last
to
night
part
while
of
Tim
it.
was talking, there was this weird, that the demonic distortion that was on his microphone, and he didn't hear it, but everyone in the chat could hear it. I could hear it, and so we
Yeah,
were
I
all
saw
telling
that.
him that it happened, and he's like, stop talking about it. You're freaking me out, you guys. I'm alone in my apartment right now. Stop talking about it. So I think if we
Right,
talk horror movies, it'll freak him out.
right. He's like I'm alone with 40 cuddly bunnies. I'm too scared. Oh man. So also real quick, I'm gonna put the link to your Indiegogo here in the chat for Common America.
Thank you. Yes, Common America is live on Kickstarter right now. It's the newest graphic novel project between me and Tim. It actually reached its fulfillment today, the first day.
Awesome.
But everything else after this is just pre-orders because the book's already done and it's printing right now. So just we have a limited number of pre-orders, 400 copies, and we're down to close to 200. So if you
Oh
want to just
sweet.
go in and yeah, you're guaranteed a copy. So this isn't one of those things where like, oh, if you back, you might not get the book. You might get the book depending on how. No, the books are already printing. The book's already done. Just go in and pre-order, and you'll get your copy.
Man, I really love that method. I hope I could get to that place where it's already done before the campaign. There's I have about 3 comics I think right now in the works, and oh, hold up, here we go. Yo, hey Tim.
Yo, man, my phone just went nuts like in the last 30 minutes.
Oh, is it making hellish screams again?
Yeah, no, it's a demon, whatever, in here. But
Ouch.
the man, Mark, I know I didn't want to say it on video. I swear, like it sounds really weird. I swear it's like Moneypenny playing a trick on me.
That noise. You did go back and listen to it, then, right?
I did. It was like a screech. Like,
It's funny.
she's
You were
back.
like I'm so scared, and I'm like, how's he scared? He's got like 40 adorable cuddly bunnies with him.
They're not going to protect me, is the thing.
They're not.
No, and it doesn't help that I saw Night of the Lepus too.
Not of the what now?
Oh my gosh, Nasser, go watch Night of the Lepus.
Oh
You
my
can rent it on Amazon. Hold on, let me pull
No,
it up.
I don't stream anymore. I buy everything.
No, that's what I
Well, you
mean.
can
Just
buy it.
buy
It's
it.
on
It's
Oh, I
I
thought
think
you
it's
said
Warner
rent it.
Archive. Yeah.
no, it's like $4 on it's like $4 on Amazon, I think.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me show it to you. Okay, here we go. I'm posting private chat.
All right.
No, so Mark, the guy, our printer, he called me 30 minutes ago, and he's like, "Hey, before you start budgeting," he's like this really goofy dude. He's like, "Before you start budgeting, I found one of my printers can do it for $1,000 less." And I'm like,
Oh,
"All right."
shit.
I'm not arguing.
Well, that's good. I was afraid you're going to give me bad news. Like the printer
No.
called. He said that we can fuck off.
He never has bad news for me because I've referred him countless people. And
are you there?
Doug Garrett. Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay. So,
Oh, it just cut out.
Okay. Look at that.
yeah, you cut out for a second, but
Look at that private chat. That's Night of the Lepus.
All right. Yeah. I see it here. It's not hyperlinked. I have to copy and paste it. That's
Yeah.
strange. Okay. Cool. I will look this up on Amazon right now, and I will put it in my cart.
It's fucking horrible.
Oh my goodness, that makes me want to watch it even more.
But it's endearing. I like it because obviously it's rabbits, but it is freaking
no,
terrible
it's a
movie.
god awful movie. I think there's a Rift Tracks version of it, but yeah, the movie is just awful. It's terrible.
Oh
But
my
it is
goodness.
like a cult. It's like a cult classic.
Yeah.
Like I think
Man,
I rewatch it once a year.
All right, so today I watched Amityville 2, which I must say was
Ooh.
so incredibly better than the first one.
Now that's opinion I cannot agree with, Nasser.
The first one,
I'm
the first
sorry,
one's
I'm
not
really-
bad. The first one's not bad, but this one's
I
so
love
much
the
better.
first one. The first one was directed by I can't recall his name, but he did The Bridge on the River Kwai, which won an Academy Award. I think this guy's a good director.
Oh my gosh! Hey,
No,
Mark,
the first
take a
one.
look at this. Hey,
First
look at
one's
this.
good. I thought this one was
That.
creepier.
Okay, Mark, click on that. If you buy, okay, if I buy that for you, I want you to review it and tell me if it's good, because I'm not wasting my time watching that.
All right, let me go to and see what the heck you're talking about. Beaster Day?
Beast.
Oh, sweet.
Look at the
Jesus.
rabbit. He's like.
And the rabbit is
scary.
named Peter Cottontail. That's the name of. Oh, he's got like this.
Cottontail. Peter Cottontail.
Oh, Peter Cottontail. Oh, you know what? Yes.
It looks
Fine. Yeah, you want to get me that? I will watch it, and I will, and then I'll make you watch it.
Someone reviewed it. They said this is a real movie.
Oh,
and it's
Jesus.
amazing.
Huh. Well,
That's one of those like Walmart movies. That's when you're like looking for Krampus, but they only have like 12. Like Krampus versus Santa, Krampus versus the Easter Bunny.
That is too accurate. That looks like one of those awful horror movies that Netflix has. Like their whole horror section is just like
asylum movies.
It's like
yeah.
it's like Predator versus Exorcist or something.
Oh God, no.
But all right. So I'm gonna put the link again for you guys' book here in the chat, and we could share screen and look at it. I've just been wondering ever since you guys announced this book, though. I think the name is some sort of reference to something, but I'm not catching on here.
Oh yeah, it's the Cayman Islands where our offshore bank account is. Yeah.
No, because your guys' books usually are like sort of parodies or references to things like like
it is. It's Kamen Rider. So Kamen Rider is a Japanese sci-fi show that's been around since the 70s. It's from a genre called tokusatsu. It's like special effects shows like Ultraman and Super Sentai, the Japanese version of Power Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those are all tokusatsu series. Those Godzilla. So it's a parody of those shows, but with like an American style superhero in Common America. So it's kind of like a juxtaposition, a fusion of Japanese superheroes and American superheroes in this character. So that's kind of the vibe we were going for.
Oh, pretty cool. And it's got fantastic art as always, Tim.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Tim,
always.
I actually.
What?
Huh? Oh, no, you can go.
No, I said. Mark knows this, but because I never went to a traditional art school, it's not that it's like a self-esteem issue. I don't know like the quality of my own work, so it's kind of like I do sweat bullets whenever I put stuff out there because I'm like, does this look like crap? Like I really hope it doesn't look like crap.
Yeah. I was gonna say I actually just read Soul Finder and the art was incredible. So was the writing, but I really dig your art, man. That was a fun book.
That was tough. That was honestly like the hardest book I've ever worked on because like Doug had a lot of faith in me and he was like please don't draw this like My Hero Macadamia. And I was like, no, I wasn't intending to, but holy cow, like that's a hard task because it means that I have to draw like in a serious style, which I mean I can do. I mean that's kind of how I've been drawing for quite a while before we started making books. But having to kind of make everything look up to the specs that he wanted, that was hard. In fact, he said it before in different streams, but that 2-page spread like towards the end where he's fighting the giant snake demon, that was the most technically difficult drawing I've ever done. Like it took forever to do.
Yeah, so I'm much less demanding than Doug Ernst when it comes to my scripts. My scripts, the direction for art I give Tim is like, can you make the girl smile in this panel if it's at all possible? And show some buttocks like there. Yeah, there we go.
Oh man, so Tim, was it easy to go from recently drawing Soul Finder and trying to do a more serious style to going back to the kind of style you're used to?
Yeah, and in fact, this is kind of the style that we're going to go with moving forward, and it's because so you know how like when you have these kids who are in grade school, junior high, and high school. They all wanted to draw in an anime style, and I get it. The reason they want to do it is because it's simple. Like, it looks simple as far as the line work is concerned, and it's very engaging. Like, it's very appealing to the eye. The only thing is that behind all of those really good manga and anime artists are artists who had to kind of learn the more detailed and technically proficient ways of drawing. So it's like you have to learn the rules before you can break them and then pare down your style to something similar. So a big benefit of working with Soul Finder was I was doing those 56, 64 pages of art, and by the time I got to the end of it, the whole time towards the end I was thinking, I can't wait to go back to something more simplistic, because this is how I would do it if I had the option of simplifying the style. So because we launched the Common America right after it, I felt like that was a big catharsis, because I was like, oh great, I get to like break this down into a style that's a little bit more simplistic and more organic to what I'm used to. But as I was telling Mark, if you look at the art of Common America, I got it down to where I can finish a whole page from pencils, inks, colors, and lettering in one day. And it's
But what
because
you're not saying is that day is like 23-hour work day, 1 hour of sleep.
yeah, I don't sleep much. We'll put it that way. Not that I don't sleep much, but it's.
What is your sleep schedule like?
You don't want to know.
I do want to know.
Well, my wife gets less sleep than I do, so I try not to complain about it. I actually sleep very well. I sleep like a baby. But I mean, I think she and I are both like kind of workaholics, because we enjoy what we do.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't sleep like a baby. I wish I did. I wake up like 40 times during the night.
So I hear, I don't know if you want to talk about it or not, but you're not. I haven't talked to you since last year. You're not at the bank anymore, but you did find a new job, correct?
For a while, it ended up being a pyramid scheme. That it was sort of like a bait and switch sort of thing. They said it would be one thing, and then it was another. So.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so now we're back to the hunt, which I've had a few interviews, but just nothing's come of it. I was just telling Mark that this was like, well, this was an embarrassing one. So like you said, I worked at a bank, and so I have banking experience, and so recently I had applied to this bank that's like 15 minutes away, and they had like a part-time, like 19-hour. A week thing. And so I'm like, you know what? Well, I have banking experience. I'm a college graduate. They'll definitely hire me. I applied. Like two or 3 days later, I get an email back that's like, we've decided to go with other candidates. That real generic email. I'm just like, how? Like, I had experience and a degree.
Oh, that sucks. Well, the other thing is that you live in a very busy part of the country, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you live in Illinois, and it is going to be a very competitive job market. But here's the beauty of it: you're still really young, so you have a lot of upwards mobility.
Yeah. So I'm hoping to find something pretty soon, because there's a lot of awesome comics out there to buy, just like Common America, which everyone listening should go get. We got about 6 or 7 people here in the chat right now, so guys, please hit the thumbs up, share out the link, and also share out the link to Common America. And you guys should all definitely go back it, because like Tim said, it's at the printer right now, so you guys are going to get it in a timely manner.
We do have a budget option on there. $5 gets you the digital copy of the comic. So if you can't spring the $10 plus shipping for the book itself, you can always just drop $5 and get the digital. And especially if you're an international customer, because unfortunately we can't do international shipping. We just don't have the budget for that. But if you do want to read the comic and you're overseas, $5 gets you the digital copy.
And you said it was at the printers. It was at the printers, but if you tuned in when I jumped in, it was like, hold the presses. We think we can save you $1,000 on printing. I honestly don't know if they can or not, given that, I mean, he gave me a pretty good deal on printing as it is, and it's to spec to what I wanted. So
yeah.
It doesn't matter. I mean, it matters on our end, obviously, but the reality is that we had budgeted based on our goal, which means that since we've already made our goal, that's great. We can pass some of those savings on to our readers. So that's wonderful. Nothing is going to change as far as our price structure is concerned. We've priced the book really as low as we can go and still make money off of it for ourselves, fund future comics, and pass the savings on to the reader as well.
Oh, we
Oh,
had one more
definitely.
announcement though about the figurine tier, Tim.
Yeah, and I put the update on Kickstarter. So if you click on the update, then you'll see it. But tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning, Central Standard Time, I am going to reopen the reward tier because that apparently everyone likes that tier. They really want those standees. And so I ordered a certain amount, and I was going to hold on to half to release on the Indiegogo campaign, but I'm just going to unleash it tomorrow morning. And then for the Indiegogo campaign, I honestly don't know what to do because the problem is that we don't know how much crossover there is between campaigns. So what I'm probably going to do for the Indiegogo campaign is I'll probably have to order a new batch within the next week or so and just hope that people show up. But it'll be a smaller batch than this go around.
Gotcha. So what all comes with that tier? I noticed that tier. I didn't exactly read that one though, because it was all gone by the time I clicked on your campaign. Your campaign, I got the notification that it went live while I was writing, but while I write, I try not to go to anything else. And then like a few hours later, one of my friends was like, "Oh hey, I just backed Tim's book. Did you back it yet?" And I was like, "Oh my goodness, you just reminded me that did go live." And when I clicked on it, I saw the tier was out, and I was like, "I'm not even gonna look at it because if it's something I want and it's out, I'm gonna be upset." So, what?
Yeah,
So what all
I
comes
didn't
with that
even
one?
know. Well, it's an acrylic standee, which seem to be really popular. We tend to do very well with those at shows. They're expensive to make though, which is why for a while I just stopped doing them because they're great. I mean, people seem to like them, but it is a heavier investment on our end. So I got some for this campaign. Everything that we have that can be physically mailed out, I try to have here before we do fulfillment. And so I bought quite a lot of these things, but I didn't buy any more than I thought would sell. So I was shocked this morning. I think it was Mark who messaged me and was like, you sold out of that tier already. And I was like, what? Are you kidding? Because that was like the middle tier. And I honestly don't know at any given moment what an audience's taste is going to be. It's all kind of a shot in the
Yeah.
dark. So I was really shocked to see that one go. So I called him at around 3 o'clock and was like, what do we do? People really want that tier. And so he told me I would reopen it. I would sell whatever you have left. And because you're going to run a second campaign anyway, you might as well just order a smaller batch for the second one and see how that goes.
Oh, cool. I really like the price that you guys were able to do it for $10 and $5 shipping for the other tier for the main tier of just the book. I just wanted to comment on that because I was talking to one of my friends about that earlier, and I really like that price that you guys are able to do because this is a square bound, I think 56 or 60 pages, right? And that's just a fantastic price because I've seen people that are like, well, hello there. Here's my Indiegogo, and I need $35 for a 20-page floppy. And, and I'm like, no, you don't.
And the thing about it too is that sometimes, I mean, not to badmouth them, but they don't have a choice because if they know that they're not going to get that many backers, they can't decrease the price because the price of the book is expensive. But I think there's a difference between like an independent guy who's going to be only selling to like 50 people versus someone who can sell like in the hundreds. Because when
Yeah.
you're buying books in the hundreds, the price does go down significantly. But we're at a point, Mark and I, where we kind of have a rough estimate of the number of people that we're going to have likely. And so we factor that in. And so when you subtract the price of the shipping supplies, the printing, and the fulfillment, the question is how much is Mark and I going to have left? And so what we try to do is we try to pad the book with enough content that the audience does not feel bad paying that price point. And we think $10 is a pretty sweet spot, given that you're getting a 56-page book that's kind of comparable to Marvel and DC rates for thicker
Oh,
volume.
definitely.
Yeah, and the fact that it's square bound means that it's a displayable book. You can put it on your shelf, and it's ready to go.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I mean, so it's $10 for the graphic novel, but it's 56 story pages. And if you look at like DC or Marvel, you go get 2 floppies. They're like $4 each, $8 for 40 pages. So you get an extra 16 pages that covers the extra $2. So you're getting maybe even a better deal than if you went to the comic shop and bought 2 Marvel DC floppies. So you're only really paying, the only extra thing you're paying is for shipping. And you have to pay that anyway if you had it shipped to your house.
Yeah, and I just want to read a little bit of the chat real quick. John De La Rose is saying winners on this stream. Totally, totally, all winners. We're making comics great again. And
What if young Seaver, Young Five Ever says, "Love that she is thick, unlike actual manga." I don't really understand that. I mean, you mean the
yeah, I don't
character?
get it.
Yeah. I mean, on
Um,
the cover, she's thick, I guess.
What did he say? Thick like actual manga or unlike actual manga?
he says unlike.
I'm like,
Oh, but the girls are real thick in manga. Yeah, you may have to
yeah.
clarify. But get back to us with your definition of thickness. We're interested.
And it's also cool to see Doug Garrett here in the chat. And he
Oh,
did
yeah.
the music, right, in the trailer, right?
Yes, he did the music and it kicks butt. It's so good.
Yeah, Doug's very talented, and he also produces some fun books. So everyone in the chat should also give Doug Garrett a sub because he also puts out some fun books. Also, John Del Rose too. If you guys aren't sub to him, got a bunch of awesome people in the chat tonight, and I'm putting the link again for the Kickstarter. And I'm just very impressed, you guys, that you guys are able to have it at the printer, or at least be talking to printers right now at this stage when it's already fully done. And you have a set print run. I think that's really cool, and it's something I'm working towards on my books, is hopefully trying to get them done before we launch, and be ready to be printing by then. I've got 3 or so comics in the works right now, and it looks like I'm going to be able to do that with at least one of them, so that's pretty cool. Hopefully 2 of them. Right now with Secret Comics Presents, which launches 1 month from today, Friday the 13th of March. We're not going to have all of it done beforehand, but we're going to have a solid chunk of it. Right now, he's started inking, so we're going to have some inked pages to show, and the cover's already ready. So that's going to be pretty cool.
And that's going to be, is that Jason Robinson?
Yeah, that's Jason. That's me and Jason. It's 20 pages, 4 short stories written by me and drawn by him.
He's a good guy, and I think he's dependable because he's very transparent. I mean, everything I've
totally.
seen from him, even like his YouTube channel, he's very upfront. And I think what it boils down to is the reader's trust in the creator. And in order for them to establish trust, it means that the creators of the book have to be as transparent as they can be. Even if you're late, like I know I give people a hard time for being late, but people tend to know who I'm referring to when I bring that up.
Yeah.
If you're like a creator who's constantly updating your audience and saying, hey, the book is going to be late by 30 days because I'm wrapping this up or this happened to come up, that's different. People are very understanding about that.
Yeah.
That's very different than just vanishing or just like bragging about stuff that you're buying. That's when readers start to think, wait a minute, like, why are you doing that instead of working on the book? Like, that doesn't seem like a valid excuse. So I think that with Jason helping you out there, he's a good guy, and I think that a lot of people are going to be very forgiving, even if the book wasn't finished even if it wasn't finished by the time you launch.
Yeah, he's definitely reliable. He gets right to work, which I like, and he really puts a lot of attention into the art. Not necessarily, I almost said he puts a lot of detail into the art. Yeah, he does, but he goes through 30,000 stages of doing thumbnails and roughs, and then light boxing it and tracing over his other pencils, and he does 30 different things right before he gets to the actual final pencils and then the ink. So he's being very diligent, putting a lot of love into these pages, and I think that's going to be a fantastic book. And after we're done with that, we're potentially going to go do a superhero book, depending how crowdfunding goes and how this book goes specifically, and a couple of my other projects. But I think me and him are probably also going to do a superhero comic at one point. So that's going to be a lot of fun. It's awesome working with Jason.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Like his channel, like his content. He's very peppy, very optimistic. So I'm excited to see what he comes up with. I mean, the art that I've seen so far is top notch. Not to disparage.
Totally.
Not to disparage the other people you've had working on your book, but it seems like with him, you're definitely like leveling up in terms of expanding out and getting some artists that people you haven't worked with yet, and getting kind of out of your comfort zone. But his pencils and inks look very professional.
Oh man, and just wait till you see and again, not to put down any other artists I've worked with, but wait till you see who I'm working with for this comic. I can't announce. The only ones I'm able to talk about right now are that one, and then Trixie Book 2, which we've got the cover and about 2 pages done so far, so that's kind of going along slowly. But
Cool.
But outside of those two, I do have a superhero book that's coming, but the artist does not want to announce anything until he's done with it or close to done with it. So I can't announce that yet. You guys are gonna flip when you see how great the art is. Which I'm actually pretty sure you guys have seen his art. I just can't say who it is on stream. I can tell you guys when we're off the air.
That's how Mark and I are. I typically don't show off anything until pretty much 24 hours before, because I don't know. Like, for example, you want to show the good stuff, but then you're thinking to yourself, if I show the good stuff when I launch it, what will I have left to show? You know, so I get it. I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, and you guys have some fantastic artists here also working on the book too. Sorry if I butcher the name. Is it Genzoman? That's that's with you on the front cover.
Yeah, that's me. So I did the line art and he did the colors. And Genzoman, you might know him from the Udon books, like Street Fighter. He does like a lot of their artwork for them, and he's just a savant when it comes to colors and stuff. In fact, he did our cover for Black Ops 2 also. And one thing that we were notified of when we got in contact with him is don't even bother drawing a background, because he's gonna do it. Like, he renders all of those himself. It's a mixture of CG. I think it's CG photographs, paint, Photoshop, and he just works wonders with it. So he did like a killer job on that cover. And then our back covers by Cute Sexy Robots, who most people know from Twitter or Patreon. He does a lot of Street Fighter stuff too. So that's like a really cool community of artists. We're really happy to get to know some of the Udon guys, because this is like a trip for us. We grew up reading those Street Fighter books, so having some of these like legends do work for us has been kind of a privilege.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I haven't read those books, but I do see those come across my Twitter feed quite often. They look good. I've just never read them. I know some comic shops get them, but mine doesn't. Mine is sometimes can be awful at getting certain smaller presses. Like, thankfully, I get all your guys' stuff from Antarctic Press, but there was like Brian Shearer's book. I think it was called William the Last, where my shop got like the first issue, and then they didn't get any of the other ones. And I was like, oh man. But I'll probably get them eventually.
Well, that's cool that your shop gets them, because there's some stores that don't get Antarctic Press at all. They're pretty much like one of the smallest publishers that are still considered to be like in the top 10. So we get some of those all the time, people saying that they can't get the books in. And that's kind of weird, because they should be able to order them. So I don't know if there's something else going on there. But here in like the South, especially like Texas is where they're located. And so it's pretty easy to get books from them.
Yeah, well, I think sometimes Diamond could be pretty careless. Not the comic shop that I go to now, but the one I used to go to like in like 2014. They would like sometimes even with like image books, like there'd be a new image number one that I'm like, oh, can you get me this one? And they're like, sure, we'll put it on your pull list. And then they wouldn't get it. And I'd walk into the shop. I'm like, you guys didn't get it? Like, no, screw up at Diamond. They just didn't get it for us. So we'll have it in like 2 weeks. And so
that's happened to me a lot, actually. And it's happened to me a lot more frequently. I mean, it didn't used to ever happen where, I mean, if I had a book, then I put it on my list. I always got that book when it came out. But I mean, so like the Team NT books that I get from IDW, like I noticed that, I have issue 16 and I have issue 18 and 19. Like, oh shit, what happened to issue 17? And I went to the shop and asked them about it. And like, oh yeah, they just didn't send us any. Like, oh well, can you special order me a copy? Like, I don't know, that book came out 3 months ago. Like, well, I put it on my pull list. It's kind of your responsibility to at least tell me if you were unable to get it. And that's happened to me 2 or 3 times where, I mean, I put a book on my list and it's just not in my box and I almost miss out on it. I have to special order it. But I think that's just Diamond just not fulfilling.
Yeah, and they wouldn't even tell me that either. That's part of the reason why I stopped going there. It was just such a poorly run place. But even with the shop I go to now, I remember probably I don't know, maybe 2 years ago, I was I discovered Alterna Comics, and so I was like, yeah, let me check these out. I like newsprint, and so I got the Chair issue 1, and then they had like issue 4, and so I was like, oh, is there any way you guys could like order 2 and 3? Because I think if I remember correctly, Alterna had just reprinted it at the time, because I think that thing is probably like over 10 years old, but they've reprinted it a few times, and my the guy that runs my shop, he's like, yeah, I'll put it down, and then Diamond never got it for them, so I ended up having to special order that too.
Yeah, I mean, there's some that I was just never able to get. So IDW did a 100-page special of the Max, which was just like reprints of issues of the Max. Yeah, if you want to part with it.
I haven't read it. Yeah. Well, actually, it's a little far, but I was just looking at that the other day. Yeah, I have it.
They put it on special order for me. My shop did, and they just never got it in. They said, because IDW didn't do any solicits for it, so I found out about it like the week it was supposed to come out. So I asked if they got any on the shelf. They said no. I asked if they could special order it for me. They said they would, and they just said like, yeah, there's just no more. Diamond can't fulfill it. We can't special order it.
Oh, okay.
Jeez.
I'll send you a picture of it after this just to make sure it's the right one. But I'm pretty sure it's the right one. It's got like 4 issues in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I haven't read it yet actually, but I was looking through some comics to read the other day.
Well, if you read it and you like it, then keep it.
Oh no, I'll just send it your way, honestly.
The Max is a good comic, so if you've never read the Max before, I really recommend it. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah,
don't deprive yourself of the opportunity.
Okay, I'll read it, then I'll send it your way.
Okay.
but yeah, I picked that up. I don't know. It might have been. When did that come out? Like a year ago, probably.
Yeah, I know. It's technically still on special order on my account at the shop, but they're never gonna fulfill it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's one that IDW did a couple years ago. It was called the TMNT 100 project, which was just like a trade paperback. That was a collection of like artist sketch covers that they did for charity for I think like the Comic Legal Defense Fund or whatever, and I asked them to special order that for me, and they just never got it in. But I got lucky. Tim and I were driving through Texas, and we just randomly stopped by this comic shop in like Bell County or someplace, and it was just on the trade paperback shelf with all the other IDW Turtle trade paperbacks, and I got really lucky and was able to buy it there. Yeah.
Oh, cool. I'm gonna put the link again here in the chat for Common America. So if you guys haven't gotten that yet, check it out right there. And I know you guys have a stream to do at 9:00, so I promised you guys I wouldn't keep you too long. So I think it's a good time to end this stream. I know usually we go for like an hour or longer, and it's barely been like 33 minutes. So ending a little earlier than normal, but these guys are having a stream over on their channel at 9:00. So, if you guys want to put the Bunderdome YouTube in the chat so people could go find you if they haven't already.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I think Mark will go do that then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're going to be at 9. I think, who are our guests? It's going to be some of the same people from last night. Captain Cummings will be there. I think Thomas Roy Loop will be there. And I think the Comic Book Hut might be on again too.
Oh, cool. I don't know who to tune into tonight because one of my other friends is actually streaming right now, and he was like, "Oh man, you're gonna miss my stream because you're streaming at 8." I was like, "I'll tune in later," and then I forgot that you guys were also streaming after this, so it's like I got like 2 different streams to tune into. Oh, hold on, Mark, you're not a wrench, are you? Let me make you a wrench real quick.
So, I put it in the chat. I don't know if it showed up.
It didn't show up. It shows up for you because you put it there, but you're not a wrench. I just made you a wrench.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna make John Del Rose a wrench too. There we go. I didn't realize he wasn't a wrench, but there you go. And I'll find it real quick. I'll find the Bunderdome too, and I'll put it too.
Okay, so I'm a wrench now. So is it showing up when I just put it in the chat?
Let me see. No, I still don't see it for some reason.
Let me try live comments. Let me go. Oh, I can't go that way.
Well, well, here I just opened it up, so I'm gonna copy the Bunderdome real quick, and I'm gonna put it right here in the chat. So everyone goes up to these guys over at the Bunderdome. They have fun streams, usually weekly, and they're always interesting. Sometimes there's some good unintentional ASMR.
What's
Yeah,
ASMR?
sometimes Tim's microphone gets completely like taken over by ghosts, and it's great.
What's ASMR?
It's well, it's sort of like when you talk like real low, like this, almost whispering.
Oh,
Like that scene from Poltergeist, where like, why can't they find the way to the light? Well, they're trying to find their way to the light, but sometimes they get lost.
Man, that's pretty accurate. But I look forward to streaming with you guys again. We have so many more horror movies to discuss because I know we barely got to talk about like Amityville 2 for like 3 minutes before we jumped into like Indiegogo
Well, I was about
talk.
to pull my headset off when you said you liked Amityville 2 better. I was like, fuck Nasser, fuck this stream, I'm out of here.
Oh man,
you guys could keep on talking because we don't have to go live until like the minute of at 9 o'clock. So if you guys want to keep on talking about it, you're more than welcome to. I need to take a shower.
Okay,
All
yeah,
right,
you go
Tim.
take a shower, and Nasser and I will talk about Amityville 1 and 2 for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, because I'm not going to send you a link until 3 minutes before 9 anyway. So
Okay.
we don't, Nasser, we don't prep for our videos. We'll put it that way.
Gotcha.
All right, I'll see you in a little bit. Oh, Nasser, before I forget, when you launch with Jason, give me a heads up so we can schedule you to go into Bunderdome when your book launches too.
Oh, thanks so much, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I really want to have you and Jason on because I haven't had a chance to talk to him yet.
Oh, totally.
Okay, great. I'll talk to you guys later. See you in a few minutes, Mark.
See you, Tim.
Peace.
All right, so what did you like about Amityville 2, The Possession, that was better than Amityville 1, the classic?
Oh man, I'm not saying I don't like the first one, but the second one was just it was I thought it was creepier. I definitely thought it was creepier. The first one was creepy, but like I don't know, I thought it was just sort of, just okay. It didn't really grab me. I think this one was a little bit more interesting with the possession and all that, and the guy Sonny, he was going mad and goes around killing everybody. I don't know. I just thought that was cool. That was a little bit creepier to me. But I mean, they I liked them both, but I think I just like this one a little bit more because I really do like demon possession stuff.
Well,
So
I think they're both pretty. The second one is the prequel, just for people who haven't seen it. It's the prequel that it tells the story of the DeFeo murders, but they can't use the name DeFeo because for legal reasons at the time. So I think they renamed everybody something else, but it's basically just that story.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty different than the
actual murders.
actual murders, but it was still pretty interesting. I thought it was weird. Like they just walked in and everything was like nailed shut. I was like, well, shouldn't he be nailing everything shut like later? But that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Nothing matters. But,
well, no, you're not going to have a really good time until you watch Amityville 3D. That movie's terrible.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so was it in like a box set when you had Amityville 1 and 2? Because like usually 3 gets packaged.
Yeah, it's a box set with 1, 2, and 3. So I have 1, 2, and 3.
All right, so Amityville 3D is like the Jaws 3D of that franchise. It's pretty dire. But it's I can say it's not the worst Amityville movie because they've made like 20 of those damn things and they get awful. There's a point where, so I don't want to ruin Amityville 3 for you, but the movies made after Amityville 3 don't even take place in the Amityville house. They follow like artifacts from the house that got sold at like a yard sale.
Oh no, that sounds so cool.
You would think Amityville 4 is about a lamp. It's about a lamp that came from the Amityville house, and the lamp kills people. It moves to a different house, and the lamp is alive. Like the lamp is, it peeks around corners, and it strangles people with its cord, and it's awful.
That reminds me of this Family Guy bit where it shows
Stephen King?
Stephen King talking to his agent. He's like, now for my 374th novel, and he grabs like I think was it like a lamp or like some plant or something
it's a lamp. Yeah, one of those green shaded lamps off the desk.
Yeah, and he's like, how about this lamp that like attacks people? And the agent was just like, he sighs and he's like, when can I have it by?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what Amityville, I think is the fourth one is about the lamp. And I think the fifth one is the one that's about a clock. So a clock from Amityville winds up in a different house. And that one's a bit more interesting because it's a clock. So it has time distortion powers where it'll turn people into babies, or it'll turn people old, or
Yeah.
it's kind of weird though, because they set the clock on a mantle, and the clock like roots itself in the mantle of the house and starts possessing the house and turning the house into one big clock. So there's a part where they break apart the drywall and they find like inside the wall is just a whole bunch of big like gears and wheels
Oh, that's so cool.
like clockwork inside the walls. It sounds cool, doesn't it? But it's not. It's a
Oh
pretty
man,
shitty movie.
Vinegar Syndrome has a box set of 4, 5, and 6, I believe. So I'm gonna pick that one up eventually. But
Yeah, go for it.
but I don't know. It was recommended to me by Devon Graham. He's like, "Oh, you should totally pick that box set up." I was like, "All right, I'll take your word for it." But
Well,
I actually don't know if he's seen it or not.
well, you might want to, because a lot of those sets go out of print fast, and you never know when they're going to get released again. Like I used to have the set, and I can't remember who put it out, but it was the Silent Night, Deadly Night sequels. It was 3, 4, and 5 in one DVD set, and those movies are shit. Like they're just awful. And after I watched them and reviewed them, I was like, okay, I never want to watch these terrible things again. So I literally threw it away. And now that set goes for a lot of money online because it's out of print, and no one knows if those terrible movies are ever going to get re-released again. So I'm like, wow, why did I throw it away? I could have sold it at the very least. I was not
Oh my
thinking.
goodness, man.
But yeah, those are terrible too.
Man, you know what? Speaking of out of print, my copy of Scanners was supposed to come today from I got it on eBay, the Criterion Collection. That thing's
Yeah,
out
we
of
were
print,
talking
so
about
it's
that
like
not long ago.
yeah, so it's like $60 on Amazon. I got it for like 25 on eBay because it was opened. It said never watched, but it said like new in the whole like specs thing. So I assume they just took the plastic off. Man, that thing has said out for delivery like all day, but it has not been delivered. But it did snow here, so I wouldn't doubt it if
Yeah, you're in
that got
Illinois.
in the
Yeah, of
way.
course you're getting weather there. But I've never had trouble with eBay shipping. It's not like Amazon where Amazon shipping sucks when it's actually fulfilled by Amazon, because you know how Amazon does their shipping. They hire like Uber drivers who just come to the Amazon like tent and pick up the packages, and then like you don't know who has your package. It's not like a FedEx or a USPS or a UPS driver. It's just some rando
Yeah.
who shows up in their car and just takes all the boxes. And we've had from where I work, we've had boxes of stuff that we've ordered wind up at like a building down the street, or in the like. If it goes to the wrong office, that's a good day. Sometimes it just goes to the wrong building, like half a mile down the street, and we got to go pick it up there, or we don't even know it's there, and unless they call us to tell us that they accidentally signed with Amazon for one of our boxes because they brought it to the wrong address. It's like Amazon sucks.
Yeah, I haven't had a problem with Amazon, but just a few days ago, Devon Graham was because me and him both ordered Curse and Curse 2, the double feature from Scream Factory,
Oh
because
yeah.
that's going out of print. And I know I got Dolls. I can't remember if he ordered Dolls from the same director, I think Stuart Gordon, right, of Reanimator.
Yep.
And
Dolls is good. I don't know if you've seen that one, but
no, not yet, but I just ordered it because it's going out of print. I think both of those actually just got out of print, so I just got in on them. And I know he ordered Curse and Curse 2. I forget what else he ordered, but point is he ordered like at least 2 different Scream Factories that were going out of print. And then the Amazon tracking said delivered. He got home from work and the box was not there. But I think they replaced it for him, but that's
what's happened. I've had some packages just absolutely completely vanish on me. Like it said delivered, and I swear the Uber guy that Amazon hired just stole it. But when I contact Amazon, I talk to the Indian guy. They send me to. He gives me a refund. I've had it happen twice. And that's got to be costing Amazon money. To have to fulfill the item and then basically eat the price on it when they have to give a refund. But they can't get my shit to me. But
Yeah.
Curse and Curse 2. I can't recall Curse 2. I saw it on the Sci-Fi Channel back in the 90s, but I watched Curse 1 fairly recently, and it's a very loose adaptation of Color Out of Space, which I know you were
yeah, that's why I was
interested.
interested.
Yeah, because the Nick Cage movie coming out. So it's not a good adaptation or a solid one or an accurate one, but it's actually a pretty good horror movie just in and of itself.
Yeah,
So I
I heard it.
recommend
I
that
heard it
one.
was a good movie in general. I heard it was good,
Yeah,
like cheesy good.
yeah. I mean, cheesy good is what I mean. It's like cellar
Yeah.
dweller quality, you know.
Yeah, yeah. No, another movie I have my eye on. I didn't order it yet. Is that Boris Karloff movie? Die Monster Die is another Color Out of Space
Hmm.
adaptation.
Yep.
So I have the Blu-ray in my cart on Amazon. Probably can't pull the trigger just yet. I've like too many things I want to buy, but saving
Uh,
my money for C2E2 at the end of this month. You guys aren't coming up, right? I know you guys applied for.
I don't think so. C2E2. I mean, if we are, Tim hasn't told me that we are, so that'd be a surprise to me if I got to go up to Illinois.
Right, yeah, because it's the 28th, 28th, 29th, and March 1st. So yeah, yeah, you guys would probably know by now if you were coming up to visit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we got Edwin Boyette in the chat. Hello, Edwin.
Oh, what's up,
Also,
Edwin?
Blacklist Universe is here. Hello, Mike. Ray Thulu says Die Monster Die was a fun adaptation of Color. Yeah, I know pretty much nothing about it. I just know that it's based on it. So I look forward to getting that one and going in blind. Don't tell me any spoilers, you guys.
I won't. I mean, all I can tell you is that it's good. It's not necessarily a fantastic adaptation, but it's a good movie in and of itself. Uh, a lot of the H.P. Lovecraft, quote unquote adaptation movies aren't good adaptations of his stories, but they're just good movies. Like From Beyond, after the first seven
That's in my
minutes, this
card
guy,
as well.
that's a great one. That one's also Stuart Gordon, and it's like the
Yeah.
first 7 minutes are kind of an adaptation of the short story, and then the rest of the movie is just its own thing, and it's great. It's a fantastic film. And same thing with Reanimator. Reanimator takes elements from the H.P. Lovecraft Herbert West Reanimator novella, and it puts them in there, but it's like 75% its own original story, and it's fantastic as well. The most accurate one that I think Stuart Gordon did, and it's really good though, is Dagon. If you can track that one down, it actually got recently. I think Scream Factory did a Blu-ray of it, but it's really good. It's a great adaptation of Shadow over Innsmouth. I really recommend that one.
Oh man, I just listened to Shadow over Innsmouth probably 3 or 4 nights ago. Oh my goodness, that was fantastic.
It's an intense story. It's got a great chase scene at the end, like the whole
Yeah,
part where
fantastic chasing. You wouldn't really, usually you wouldn't expect that from Lovecraft.
no, he
Like
doesn't. He doesn't normally do
an
that.
actiony
No.
scene.
Yeah, but it's very suspenseful. It's when he's in that hotel room and he knows like the fish people are on the other side of the door and they're trying to get through and he's got to get out of the town and they're stalking him through the streets and he's got to find the train tracks and get out. It's very very exciting. Yeah, no, and they do all that in the movie too, and it's all really good.
Yeah, sort of reminds me of a little bit of the part in the Mouth of Madness
Mm.
when crap, I forget his name.
When Sam Neill's trying to get out of
Yeah,
Hobbs End and like it keeps
yeah.
looping around and trapping him in the town. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that was a really fun movie. That's another great Lovecraft movie, even though it has like almost like like it's got references,
It's
but
so
like the
it's
characters aren't really Lovecraft.
Yeah, I think it's what you call a Lovecraftian movie because it's not an
Yeah,
adaptation of any of his stories. It's just an original story that has a Lovecraft vibe to it. So that's what they mean with like Lovecraftian, and it's probably the best one ever made. It's my
yeah,
favorite John Carpenter movie. I like a lot of John Carpenter movies, and I understand if people like other ones more, like The Thing and Halloween. But In the Mouth of Madness, that movie just does it for me. So that movie's great, in my opinion.
yeah, yeah. And I think I kind of count the Thing as Lovecraftian. I think most people do. But the Thing, I mean, it's almost like a loose adaptation of At the Mountains of Madness. So it's pretty
I mean, it
similar, and
is it is similar actually. Now that you mention it, the researchers in Antarctica find a frozen monster basically that's been there for a very long time, and then it thaws out. It's a bit more action though. So if you
yeah,
read At the Mountains of Madness,
yeah,
it's almost more of a history lesson as they're going through the temple and they're looking at the hieroglyphics and the drawings and they're basically doing all the connective tissue of the Cthulhu mythos. But then the only action piece in that story is at the very end where they wake up a Shoggoth and it chases them through the tunnel and eats a bunch of penguins. And that's kind of like the only action part in that
bunch of
story.
blind penguins that are like 10
Yeah.
feet tall.
Yeah, giant albino blind penguins. People forget to mention that part of the story.
That's a mouthful. but like the thing, it is pretty shapeless and formless and things that you can't really describe. So that's pretty Lovecraftian by nature, I think, and so I kind of count that as sort of like a Lovecraftian movie, which
I picked up. Oh, go on.
Oh, I was also going to say, which there's also a few Dark Horse comics based on The Thing / The Thing from Another World, and I actually just ordered today the first issue. It's a 2-issue series. I can't find the second one for the life of me. I found it in one place for $30, and I'm not going to spend $30 on one comic.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what the extended canon of the John Carpenter version of The Thing. I know they made a sequel PS2 game that people say was really good.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Though. Yeah, geez, it came out in like 2001 or 2002. It's really old, but people said it was really good. I just never played it. And they got Kurt Russell back, so it kind of undoes the ending of The Thing because Kurt Russell's in the sequel video game, so I guess he made it.
Right.
Yeah, and they made that. I feel so sorry for that prequel that they made, that Thing prequel from like 5 years ago.
I have it on DVD. I didn't watch it yet.
So the movie is bad. It's just straight up bad, but it didn't have to be. So there's this channel on YouTube called Good Bad Flicks, and they did a making of documentary on the Thing prequel, and they showed the movie that they had originally made and all the work they put into it to make it as authentic a prequel as they possibly could. Like they went through the original Thing and they looked at that outpost, the Swedish outpost or the Norwegian one, whatever it was, and I think
it was Norwegian.
Norwegian, yeah. And they went through so much effort to perfectly duplicate it right down to the broken windows. And every action scene that happens in that set, because that's where the movie takes place, is in the Norwegian compound, they show how the window got broken that you saw in the original Thing. They show that. And like that stuff's really interesting. And they did the effects practically, because they wanted it to be authentic to the John Carpenter movie. So all the special effects they did were practical effects. But then some fucking producer said like, oh no, like nobody likes practical effects anymore. They want CGI. Just cover it up with CGI. And the movie just looks terrible. This awful CGI that's covering up these great practical effects. And they edited the film so it reworks the story, and the story ends up not actually working very well as a prequel. They put so much effort into making it as perfect a prequel as possible, and then some executives is like, I don't understand this. Can you change the story? And now it doesn't fit. Like and the changes they had to make, like they were supposed to go into the ship of the Thing that it came in, the one that gets blown up in the second movie, in the original movie. I'm sorry. And they had this practical effects alien, this monster that was on display there and was like central to the plot of the prequel, but they had to cut out all the scenes that made that monster relevant. So like, well, what do? We have to keep this scene in there where this big monster, its body sitting in the middle of this room where all the characters are walking around. How do we get rid of it now that it's no longer relevant to the plot? So they put this like really shitty, like digital, like static pixelation screen over it, and they add like these lights and they try to pretend like it's some sort of veil of energy, and it looks just so bad. It's absolutely terrible. I mean, if anyone could ever put out a director's cut of the Thing prequel, I'd love to see it, because that might actually vindicate that film. But the version you've got on like your DVD is going to be a piece of shit. I'm sorry.
Okay, well then I'm glad I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah. Shit. It's 8:57, so I think Tim's about to send me the link. So I probably got to go.
I was just about to say that. but yeah, man, it's always fun talking to you and talking about horror movies, and we definitely have a lot more to talk about, because I've seen quite a few since last time we talked, like Alice, Sweet Alice, Eyes Without a Face.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen both of those. Those are good.
Ginger Snaps, You're Next, Valentine. I've seen so many since.
Oh man, yeah. Okay, we gotta
since
catch
last
up
time
on
we
that
speak.
stuff then.
Oh yes, yeah. But anyways, so for the second time, I know we had earlier we said all right, time to go, but for the second time tonight, it's actually the end of the stream, you guys. So I'm gonna put the link real quick in the chat again for the Bunderdome.
Yep. And before I check out, I just want to thank everybody, like Kenneth and John and Edwin and Mike, Ray Tulu, everybody else who's been helping us out on Twitter by retweeting Common America and backing it if you backed it, and for supporting us. You've been helping us get the word out there, and we really appreciate it. So thank you all, you guys.
Yep. Have a great night, everybody.
Yep. Good night.
Peace.